Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's card I've got the Stud Puffin Sealed with a Kiss and Mermaid for You Lawn Fawn stamps, and I've got a variety of stamps from there. And then I've got the Grass from the Beach Scallop Treat Box Beach add-on. I have a waffle flower like layered die that I'm using, and also the two of the Ocean Waves lawn fawn dies as well, just in two different colour blue cardstock. And then I've got some Salty Ocean that I'm going to edge along the lighter piece of cardstock of blue, and then I will take some after a bit of a cleanup obviously and then I will take a Faded Jeans distress ink and go along the edge of the slightly darker blue. In the end you mostly see the Faded Jeans and not the blue that's underneath, but that's fine. It just gives you a starting point if you needed that. You know, if you wanted to get that sort of ombre look, it gives you a starting point if the cardstock's already coloured. And then for my background, I'm going to start with some spiced marmalade, and this is Bristol Smooth cardstock, I believe. The other two blue coloured cardstocks were just regular cardstock, so the ink on the edge is fine, it kind of works, but if you want to do like whole backgrounds, I seriously suggest looking at your papers. And then I'm going to take some Crackling Campfire and then blend those two together just to get this sort of sunset sunrise kind of thing going on. And once you've got enough ink not only on your foam applicator, but also, and that just takes time, so the more you use it the better it becomes, the more this smooths out. It's just so cool. This Bristol Smooth paper is really nice for that, and for zigs as well, which is what I coloured and stamped all the images, was with some zig. I coloured them in with some zig markers. Just works amazing on Bristol Smooth. It's fantastic. So of course I had to spritz everything. Now on the two blue pieces it doesn't really, it reacts, but it's not that big a deal because it's sort of, it's the distress inks that's reacting, but obviously the blue cardstock doesn't. And then on the orangey bits of the background piece, you can see it reacts a lot more on there. It's just more texture in the background. That's sort of what I was going for, so nothing too fancy. But I have to spritz everything, as you know. And then I die cut all these pieces from my using my scan and cut, and I cut 5 rocks. The only rock I seem to have within my collection of 10,000 things is off this Mermaid for You stamp set, so at least I had that. So I'm going to use the I'm going to sort of build up almost like a rocky area. And the thought process behind this card was, in South Africa, there in Cape Town in particular, there is like Seal Island, and there's a sort of restaurant. It's like I guess it's like an old dock or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. And basically the seals used to come up into this like dock area in the bay, and they would just chill out in the sun on this sort of pier area. And now, since we last went back, they have actually started protecting them, so they've actually closed them off. But it was amazing how many seals were all together, and of course it was mating season, so there was lots of babies, and it was amazing. So highly recommend that. But I wanted to sort of recreate something like that using the seals from Sealed with a Kiss and the two puffins, which I don't know if we get puffins in South Africa. I want to say we don't, but I don't know. You would think I should know this, but anyway. So that was the idea behind it, was to create this sort of like what we'd sort of seen sort of thing. So I'm just sticking the waves, I couldn't think, the waves onto the base. Everything's stuck flat. There's no 3D or anything like that. And also when I put the tape on the waves, I also didn't put that right to the top, so that if I want to tuck something behind it, I can still do that. Which is what I'll end up doing with quite a few of these images, because I actually stamped a whole bunch of them. So I think the puffins I stamped 2 of each, and then the seals I think I stamped about, I don't know, I want to say about six or 7, something like that. I don't know. But a whole bunch of them, and in the end I actually ended up using all of them. But you'll see what I do with 2 of the seals. It sounds mean, but it's not. But in the end, it was just the way it worked out, and it actually looks quite cute, so I was quite chuffed. But I'm just trying to arrange them so that they look like there's a whole bunch of seals, because they do that. They kind of gather together in like groups. I don't know what a group of them is called, but they kind of gather together. And so I was trying to recreate that. So you'll see I'll stick some down and then I'll move them around and that, just to get placement of them. The puffins, I put 2 of them in the water. I thought that was just a nice way to sort of add to them, because I wanted this to be quite a full scene, but I didn't want to I wanted to use all the images. So I've got the 2 of them in the water, and then the other 2 are sort of standing around on the rocks, and then I'm trying to get all my seals in without it looking too like formation like or too geometric. That's the word. So in the background there you can see I've got a seal that's in the water. Now basically I had the head of one that I was trying to tuck in, so it looked like he or she was bobbing up, and then one of the other ones facing the other direction, I was trying to get it to look like his tail was going down. But in the end I actually just cut enough of them off each one, that it actually looks like there's one in the water that is now having a little swim, which is what they do. They do that too. So I just thought it worked out really well. And then I've got these little fish that I have also stamped and cut out, and I'm just placing a few of them in the hands of the boys. They, taking presents to the girls, and then the extra ones are just sort of added to the water, kind of like it's feeding season or feeding time. So they're going to be in and out the water, grabbing all the whatever food they can find, sort of thing. And then the grassy pieces, I just added a few of those to the rocks at the bottom, just to add a little bit of something down there. And that pretty much finishes the scene of this. I then of course wanted to add a sentiment, and none of the sentiments kind of worked for the whole scene and what I was doing here. So I actually used a see you soon sentiment from Mermaid for You, and it actually works out perfect because, and hopefully I won't cry doing this, but I can't wait to go back and see my family. So they are in that neck of the woods. So some of them are anyway. So see you soon. I mean, it couldn't be more appropriate, to be honest. And so just getting some tape on the back and then sticking this to an A2 size card. Now this layer piece that I cut using the waffle flower, I think it's the A2 layers, I think that's what it's called. It's really nice because this second die in is like 1/4 inch smaller, so it's the perfect size for that next layer in if you ever need those. The original or the largest one will be the full size A2 size, if that makes sense. So there you have it, guys. Really simple. Just 2 tiny little stamp sets that I stamped the images numerous times. Grab some grass and some waves. You can easily make those waves yourselves if you don't have the dies. And then rocks. That was honestly the hardest thing to find and to figure out, was the rocks. Who would have thought? So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.